Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's tutorial, I'm going to be teaching you all how to crochet a very beautiful mesh rug, and I'll be teaching you guys how to customize this for whatever size that you're making it for. This is going to be a measurement based pattern, so it's very vital that you get a tape. And I also have other beautiful shrug tutorials. I'll be leaving the playlist in the description box below. Now, let's get into materials. So for this project, I'll be making use of a 5-ply mule cotton yarn. This is a medium weight yarn and it weighs 50 grams. So you would need at least 8 balls of this yarn depending on whatever size you're making this for. And you can also make use of any yarn at all that you have available. Just make sure that you get your measurements right. I will also be making use of a 5mm hook, scissors, and of course my measuring tape. Now let's get into the tutorial. Okay guys, before we start making the shrug, we need to take our measurements first. Now, the measurement you're going to be needing is your full bust measurement. I will leave a diagram on the screen that teaches you how to take your full bust measurement. The diagram is not mine, I got it from Pinterest, and I think it's going to be very helpful if you've not taken your full bust measurement before. So once you've taken the measurement, mine is 36, you're going to divide it by 2. And for me, 36 divided by 2 is 18. Whatever figure you get is going to be the measurement of the width of your front panel and back panel. So now, to begin, we're going to start by making a slip knot, and this is how to make a slip knot. So once you've done that, go ahead and chain the total number of chains that measures up to half of your bust measurement. So mine is 18. I will chain the total number of chains that measures up to 18 inches. But it's very important for you to note that the total number of chains that you create should be in the multiple of 4 plus 1. So I'm done with mine. I did a total of 69 chains and this measures up to 18 inches. So now hold on to the very last chain that you made. You can either hold on to it or you place a stitch marker into the very last chain that you made. Then you're going to chain up 9 extra. So I'm done making my 9 chains. Now yarn over and prepare for a double crochet. So you're going to skip these 9 chains that you made and go into the 10th chain. So that's the stitch you held on to or possibly placed your stitch marker in. Then make a double crochet. So yarn over again and pull through. You should have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Yarn over, pull through the remaining 2 loops. Now make 3 chains and skip 3 chains. Go into the next chain with a double crochet. Make 3 chains, skip 3 chains. Go into the next chain with a double crochet. Make 3 chains and skip 3 chains. Go into the next with a double crochet. So you're going to repeat this pattern all the way till you get to the very last stitch here, and I'll meet you guys when I'm done with mine. So now I want to show you guys how to finish up row 1. So I already made my double crochet. I'm now going to make 3 chains like normal, then skip 3 chains and go into the very last stitch here with a double crochet. And that's it for row 1. Now for row 2, chain up 6, and once you have your 6 chains made, turn your work. So this chain 6 we did now counts as 1 double crochet stitch and the 3 chain space. So now yarn over, so you're going to skip this stitch here, the chain space and the next stitch, and go into the next chain space with a double crochet, chain up 3, skip this stitch, go into the chain space with a double crochet. So for this row we're going to be working into the chain spaces, chain up 3, go into the next chain space with a double crochet, chain up 3, and go into the next chain space with a double crochet. So you're going to repeat the pattern till you get to the end of the row, and I'll come back and teach you guys how to finish up row 2. So chain up 3, you're going to make a double crochet into the next chain space here. Then you're going to chain up 3 again. So now we're going to skip 5 chains from the bottom here. So this is where I placed the double crochet stitch. I'm going to start counting from this chain close to it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And once you've done that, place a double crochet into the 6th chain from the bottom. So you're going to skip 5 chains and place your double crochet into the 6th chain. And that's it for row 2. Now we're going to make row 3. So for row 3, chain up 6 and turn your work. And now you're going to skip the double crochet stitch here and the very first chain space and go into the next chain space with a double crochet. Chain up 3, and we're going to skip this, go into the next chain space with a double crochet. So now we're just basically repeating the mesh pattern. Chain up 3, go into the next chain space with a double crochet. So repeat this till you get to the end of the row, and I'll come back and show you guys how to finish up. So guys, to finish up row 3, chain up 3, and you're going to go into the last chain space, which is made up of the 6 starting chains that we made for row 2, and you're going to make your double crochet, chain up 3, and you're going to skip 2 chains from the bottom, 1, 2, and go into the next chain, which is the 3rd chain, with a double crochet. And that's it for row 3. So you're going to repeat row 3 till you're very comfortable with the length of your shrug. So you can either take your measurement with your measuring tape from the top of your shoulder blade down to wherever you want your shrug to stop, or you can place it on your body as you work. So I'll do mine off camera and come back and tell you how many rows I did and the measurements for my front panel. So once you're done making your second panel, we're going to make the neckline. So to do that, just place one of your panel on your neck to determine where you want your neckline to start and to end. And make sure that's in the middle of your shrug. So once you figure it out for one panel, you would do the same thing for the other one as well. So this is how mine looks like. I've mapped out my neckline on both of my panels. And let me show you guys the measurements for my neckline. So mine measures 9.5 inches and this is perfect for a size large. So if you don't want to go through the process of placing this on your neck, I'll be leaving a measurement guide for the neckline on the screen. But it will do you a whole lot of good if you can actually place this on your neck and take your measurements. And another important thing to note is that the number of stitches you skip on this side should be the same with the number of stitches you skip on this side as well. And do the same for your second panel. Now let's attach the neckline. So to attach the neckline, you're going to insert your hook into the very last stitch on one of your panels and into the last stitch on the other panel. So on this panel I have the starting chain which comprises of 6 chains. So I'm just going to insert my hook into the third stitch from the bottom like normal. Then attach your yarn. And you can tie this to make this a little bit secure. So go back into both of the stitches and you're going to yarn over and pull through, then yarn over, pull through to make a chain. So we'll be joining with slip stitches, but you can actually do this with a darning needle or with single crochet stitches. So go into the very next stitch, which is this chain here, insert your hook, then go into the next stitch on the other panel as well and insert your hook, then yarn over and pull through all the loops on your hook to make a slip stitch. Now go into the next stitch on this panel and go into the next stitch on the other panel, and you're going to yarn over and pull through all the loops on your hook. So go into the next stitch on this panel and do the same for the other panel. So we're going to repeat this till we get to where we place the stitch marker. So I've walked till I got to my stitch marker on both sides. So just remove your stitch marker. And once you've done that, you're going to place your hook into the very last stitch for your neckline on both panels and make your slip stitch. Chain up one and fasten off. So do the same thing you did on this side for this other side as well. And I'll come back and show you guys how to attach for the armhole. I'm done attaching both sides of my neckline. Now we're going to work on the armhole, and it's very important to note that the length of your armhole will determine how wide or how tight your sleeves will be. So if you're going for an oversized sleeve, you would want your armhole to be wider, but if you're going for a snug sleeve, you would want your armhole to be snug. So for this tutorial, we're going to be making a snug sleeve, or you can actually customize it to an oversized sleeve if you want. For better still, you can check out my other tutorial where I teach how to make a bell sleeve shrug. So if you've not done this before, what I advise you to do is to attach at least 2 rows from the bottom here to the other panel and try it on your body. Then that will inform you as to the amount of rows you would need to attach extra to give you either a snug fit or an oversized fit. But since I've done mine before, I know that I need to place my stitch marker on the 4th row. So this might vary for you depending on whatever size you're making yours for. And take into consideration that I'm making my sleeve very snug. So I'm going to do the same thing on this side as well. And my armhole measures, remember this is stretchy, so stretch it out a bit. It measures 6 inches when stretched out a bit. So let's attach. We're going to be attaching with slip stitches just like we did for the neckline. So I would insert my hook into the bottom here. Let me zoom in a bit. So insert your hook into the last foundation stitch here, and on the other panel I have the starting chain. So I'm going to skip 3 chains from the bottom here and insert my hook into the 4th chain. Then attach your yarn. Tie this to secure. So go back into the same stitch we just walked in on both panels, yarn over and pull through, then chain up one. So from here onward, we're going to be slip stitching each row on both panels randomly. So insert your hook into this double crochet stitch on this panel and into the chains on this and make a slip stitch. So I try as much as possible to place at least 2 slip stitches in each row. So you're going to repeat this process till you get to where you place your stitch marker. Remove your stitch marker. Chain up one and fasten off. And do the same for the other side as well. I'll come back and show you guys mine when I'm done with mine. So guys, I'm done attaching both sides of my armhole. So now, turn your work to the front. This other side that the slip stitch is more prominent at will automatically become the back of our shrug. And this is how the front looks like. Now we're going to start making the sleeves. So for the sleeve, we're going to start from one of the armholes. You're going to look for the last slip stitch you made while you were attaching for the armhole, which is this tiny bump here. So just keep your work like this and you would see the bump. Insert your hook into that bump and attach your yarn. Then tie to make this secure. Insert your hook back into the bump, then yarn over, and you're going to make 6 chains. Turn your work like this to the side. We are going to start working into the sides of those double crochet stitches. So yarn over and into the very first one here, make a double crochet, chain up 3, go into the next with a double crochet, chain up 3, go into the next with a double crochet, chain up 3, go into the next with a double crochet, chain up 3. So just repeat the pattern all the way around till you get to the very last double crochet stitch on the side for here. So I've worked my way around till I got to the very last double crochet stitch here, close to my starting chain. Now chain up 3, and make a slip stitch into the top chain of your starting chain. So now you're going to turn your work, skip the slip stitch you just made and go directly into the next chain and make a slip stitch. Now you're going to insert your hook underneath this chain space, yarn over and make a slip stitch. Then chain up 6. So after you've done this, repeat your mesh pattern like normal. So yarn over and make a double crochet into the next chain space, chain up 3, make a double crochet into the next chain space. Repeat the mesh pattern like normal till you get to your starting chain. So guys, I've worked my way around till I got to my very last chain space. Now chain up 3 and make a slip stitch into the third chain of your starting chain. So from here onwards, repeat row 2 till you're comfortable with the length of your sleeve. So you can wear this on your body as you walk to determine the length of your sleeve, or you can take your measurements with your measuring tape. So let me show you guys how to do row 2 one more time. Turn your work and you're going to skip the slip stitch you just made and go into the next chain here with a slip stitch. Then pass your hook underneath the chain space and make a slip stitch. Then chain up 6. And you're going to repeat the mesh pattern like normal. So repeat the mesh pattern around till you get to the very last chain space here. So once you get to your last chain space, slip stitch into the third chain of your starting chain. And that's it for the row 2 repeat. So just continue repeating row 2 till you're very comfortable with the length of your sleeve. So guys, I'm done making my sleeves. I did a total of 27 rows and this measures 22 inches. I'm perfectly okay with the length of my sleeve. Now I'm going to chain up 1 and fasten off. So go ahead and make the second sleeve exactly like this. This is mine. So I'm done making both of my sleeves. This is how my shrug looks like currently. Now hide all of your loose ends. So I've hidden all of my loose ends and now this shrug is ready to wear. So this is where we're going to stop for today's tutorial. If you found this tutorial very helpful, please give this video a thumbs up, like this video, and subscribe to my channel if you're not yet subscribed to this channel. And I would also love to see pictures of your work. You can send me pictures through any of my social media platforms. It is really going to make my day. For now, bye and see you guys in another tutorial soon.